We're now into the second half of the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season, and for the first race of the second half, we head to the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan for the running of the GFS Marketplace 400. One of the fan favorite racetracks, one of the driver favorite racetracks. It is really a great mix of good equipment and good driver skill to get around this racetrack and get to victory lane here at the Michigan International Speedway. And we'll see which driver has all of it after 40 laps of action here in Brooklyn, Michigan. I'm Joe Rukowski, launching me in the booth, Trey Bardo. Trey, this is always a driver's favorite, one of the driver's favorite racetracks to come to. This is a racetrack where you can really move around the track, find a different groove. It's very wide. You can make passes down the straightaways, and it doesn't really funnel all that much into the corners. It's a really fun racetrack for the fans to watch, but I'm sure it's very fun for the drivers as well, especially with how worn out the track is.
Yeah, it definitely makes for a race where there's not really a favored spot to, kind of start here, because you could really, make your way up from anywhere as long as you can play it right. So we'll have to see who has the best handling car out here to work their way up to the front, or better yet, stay up front.
Exactly that. We'll have to see if anyone does have a dominant car that can maybe stay up front. And once those tires start to wear out, we will see it be harder to make passes work, where maybe the outside starts to work a little bit better than the bottom lane. So we'll have to see how that all plays out, because at the start, everyone's going to be hunting for that bottom of the racetrack. That's going to be, you have so much grip, you barely lift through the corners here on fresh tires. We'll have to see everyone trying to fight for the bottom, how the outside can maybe hang in, and see when that outside maybe starts to become a little bit more dominant as the tires wear out. But Trey, we look at the front of the field. You have Keyshawn Richardson on pole, looking to get another win this season. He just won a few races ago at Nazareth, but to his outside is one of the Michigan natives, Tim Gary. Hasn't won since 2001. He enters second in the point standings, just 7 points back of Luke Rainey in the 88. Luke starts in 8th, Tim starts in 2nd. Another Michigan native looking to break a long winless drought, Justin Zeidel back in 9th place. So Trey, there's a lot of good stories at the front of the field. You have points contenders, you have Michigan natives, and you have some underdogs up here as well, like Conrad Evans, Anthony Hernandez, and Ryan Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff to watch during this race, but I'm more interested in that points battle because, Joe, it is absolutely closing up, and these guys both start up inside the top 10, and they're pretty close to each other, but the only problem is that they're on the outside, so either they're going to probably have to push a little bit here to try to get a run to the bottom, because, I mean, it's the shortest way around the racetrack, right? So it's probably where everyone's going to want to be, so it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they are to try to find their way up front soon.
And just think, if they can't get to the bottom in a quick manner, watch for guys who are up there in points. They're starting on the bottom. Chris Jericho starts in 5th place in the 18. He's not all that far back if the front two in points fall back. Jay Reno, the 97, starts in 11th. He's not that far back. Mathis Wells is on the inside. Keegan Thompson's up there in points, but he's on the outside as well. You have Evan Hunter up there on the outside in the 36. So there's a lot of big points contenders starting towards the front of the field. Problem is, a good bit of them are starting on the outside lane. We'll have to see how it plays out at the beginning of this race, how quickly they can maybe find a way down to the bottom of the racetrack here at Michigan. Another big story is inspection after qualifying, Trey. We had Samet Oskin set to start inside the top 10 in the number 81 car for Fitz-Bradshaw Racing, but he failed inspection, goes to the back, he'll start 42nd. Another big story was that Colin Teague was set to make his second straight start of the season, but Teague failed inspection, so he drops out of the race. Nathan Orman bumps in the 41 because of that. So inspection, on one side of the coin, you have a driver who was looking for a good run that doesn't really have all that many good runs in a season. He's now at the back of the field. Then you have another driver who doesn't get many starts in the season with the team he's had as of late, and he's now out of the race completely because of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad situation, but they're just going to have to make do with what they learned from this race and move forward.
And also back there at the back of the field is Eli Bright in the number 8 car. He starts in 40th place. Watch for him, because he finished runner-up in this race last season, was chasing down Brett Sierra all the way to the checkered flag. So we'll have to see if Eli can move his way through the field, if the car is good. Obviously, we know his two teammates were fast in qualifying. Hernandez starts 6th, Ryan Wilson starts 7th, but then you have Eli back in 40th place, and that's kind of weird, Trey, because Eli this season, he's been the one DEI car to be really good. If I'm not mistaken, he has 5 top 5s this season. Meanwhile, his two teammates combined have 4 finishes of 10th or better.
Yeah, they, I don't know what happened with that 8, but they definitely missed a mark here during practice and qualifying, so we'll have to see if they have that race pace to, move their way up through the field. But other than that, there's his teammate. You can see the 15 starting inside the top 10 of Ryan Wilson, so we'll have to see if they can maybe capitalize on a good qualifying position here and work their way up to the front.
Well, now we'll go take a look at the track facts here for the Michigan International Speedway. Nice day for racing. 79 degrees, one of the warmer days we've had so far this season. And a little bit of wind for the drivers to deal with when they're out there on the racetrack. This is a 2-mile racetrack that's just over 3.2 kilometers. It's a 40-lap race, 80 miles in length. The field window is something to watch out for. It's a pretty wide window here at Michigan, 23 to 28 laps. So we'll see some drivers maybe come in early, try for an undercut. Maybe some drivers stay out late, try for an overcut. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But the tire wear over the course of a long run here, it could be north of 2 seconds of fall off over a full fuel run. So to watch for that, maybe the drivers with the undercut can play new tires into their strategy better than drivers that try the overcut. There's 18 degrees of banking in the corners, 12 degrees on the front stretch, and only 5 degrees on the back stretch. And the 8 drivers that are going home and did not qualify here today: Skylar Taylor, Max Davis, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. We covered the story with Colin Teague, Marcus Lerb, Joe Staubs, Tegan Fox, Angel Gutierrez. Those are the 8 drivers going home, not participating in the race here today at the Michigan International Speedway. It's about time to get going, though. It's going to track that fire the cars up for the 2004 GFS Marketplace 400 from Michigan.
Say it with me. Drivers, start your...
A great command to get the fans into it as well. 42 cars file off pit road for the 2004 GFS Marketplace 400. The audience picked to win this race, 40% of the vote. Riley Spurgeon starts in 10th place here today, still looking for his first win of the season. Not been his best track here. He's never finished better than 16th. Let's see if he can break that for a win here today. But Trey, who's your pick to win here today at Michigan?
You know, I'm feeling a little bit of a JGR magic here. I'm going to go with that 20 of Mathis Wells. You know, he's not starting in the best position, just outside the top 10, but I think he's going to find his way up front here with the speed of how this track races, and I think he's going to bring this one home.
Mathis Wells, the winner here in 2002, and has the best average finish here. He's never finished outside the top 10. He has an average finish of 5.5. His worst finish here is 8th in 4 starts. Let's see if Wells has that same magic here today, starting just outside the top 10. My pick to win is just in front of your pick, Trey, and it's going to be this 97 of Jay Reno. He's been on a bad stretch of races lately. 6th race streak of finishing outside the top 15. He has an average finish here in Michigan of 27.5. But I think here today he's going to pick it up. He's going to get back to victory lane. He's going to gain points back. He's going to move up towards that points. And I think Jay Brando can try and get it done here today at Michigan from the 11th place starting place on the grid. At the front, it's his teammate Keyshawn Richardson in the 99. Keyshawn has never finished better than 30th here. His 4 finishes: 30th, 31st, 37th, 32nd. Will it be just like that here today, or will he be able to keep the track position at the front? Green flag is in the air, and we're underway in the second half of the 2004 Nextel Cup Series season. Everyone trying to find their way through this first lap. Double file through the field. No one really sticking out yet for the lead. Conrad Evans has been on a dismal stretch of races. He's not finished better than 10th in the last 10 races, but here today he's going to lead the first lap, it looks like, from 3rd place on the starting grid. Moves to the inside. Richardson. Jericho is maybe looking to help him. Now he looks out 3 wide. The 31 does lead the first lap, but here comes the 18 preferred bottom lane, and now we're looking 3 wide here on lap number 2. The drivers have fell out their cars, and they're confident.
Oh.
Richardson really slow on the top side.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if we felt the car getting tight up top there or what, but he absolutely stepped on the brake there and just fell back multiple rows. So definitely not the start he wanted there, but Jericho making the 3 wide on the bottom is going to gain him the lead here. And Joe, this is one of the few places where we can see 3 wide, and we're not that nervous about it.
I'm still nervous, Trey. I know it's a wide racetrack, and I know you know what the drivers are thinking when they're in that 3 wide, but I'm still nervous as Jericho moves out in front. He's also a driver on a stretch of races that's not been all that great, and there is a part of it that's due to speed, but also a big part of it due to his pit crew. And you look at his last 3 races, it's all been outside the top 20, 25th, 24th, 24th. It's been consistent, but not in a good way, Trey.
Yeah, definitely not the way you want to be, but you never know. It always takes one race to flip that around, right? So we'll have to see if today is the day or not. As you can see, the 36 Evan Hunter is absolutely moving up the field. Might have given a little love tap there to Luke Rainey, who shuffled up to the outside there, but that's going to allow a couple of guys to get to the inside of him.
And here, look at the two drivers that start on the front row. Tim Gary, Keyshawn Richardson have fallen. They're both outside of the top 10, in danger of falling outside the top 20. And I mean, if they can't get down to the bottom, see Tim really slow on the top. Gonna create.
We're looking for?
Yeah, it's gonna create 4 wide. I think Stapleton can get down behind your driver, Henry Guo, and does just that. But a dangerous moment there for the driver, second and point 2, still falling back on the outside. Nowhere to go. And Trey, look at this. Eli Bright started all the way at the back of the field in number 8. He's passing Tim, and it's only lap number 4.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with that 10 car, but maybe it's more of a long-run speed car. But right now, it is falling like an absolute anchor here. Give it a couple more laps. He might be the last place car on the lead lap. So we'll have to keep an eye on him and see if they make anything, any adjustments right now. But we still have a race for the lead with Connor. Yep, that was not the name I was looking for.
Conrad Evans in the 31.
There it is.
Yeah, got back by Jericho, so he leads that lap. Wilson looked to the bottom, couldn't get it done off turn 2. He actually loses some momentum. Jericho comes back to his outside. Zidell to his back bumper for second place. Here comes Zidell's teammate Mitchell Collins, moving nicely through the field. This number 12 car down to the inside of the 18. Evan Hunter back there with them. Then you have Jay Rando. Ahmed Wallace moved through the field nicely, and there's the points leader Luke Rainey, currently holding steady inside the top 10. 9th place with Jude Martinelli right in his bumper in 10th. So once again, Trey, all 3 Penske Jasper cars have shown up with some good pace up there. Jericho high out of the groove, had to slow down, but all 3 Penske Jasper cars, as they run right now inside the top 10.
Yeah, it seems like with 1 and 2 there, we saw Jericho do it right there, but we also saw it was Richardson do it as well. 1 and 2, you get outside of that grayer area right there, and you go into that light gray, or the car does not like it, and I don't think the drivers really feel stable up there, so they try to, tap the brake and get back down into the more comfortable situation, but it's not really working, as we're possibly looking 4 wide yet again. The 97, I believe that's Rando, is going to opt out of that.
Yeah, Jay Rando said, all right, listen, you guys do that. Ahmed Wall made the big move, and Rando said, I'll be the responsible one here and back out and not get us into a bad position. But Ahmed Wallad moving up through the field nicely and gaining spots rapidly at the start of this race. In front of them, the 2 teammates from Penske Jasper Racing going at it. Mitchell Collins, Justin Zidell, they're slicing and dicing their way up to second place for Collins. Third place for Zidell, he's trying to get by Ryan Wilson. All the while, Conrad Evans, who's led the most laps today, still in the lead in the GFS Marketplace 400. Here comes the other Penske Jasper car, moving big time to the bottom. Ahmed Wallad looking 4 wide with Jude Martinelli. They made the move at the same time. Wallad decides to back out. Martinelli forced it down to the bottom. Points leader Luke Rainey forcing it to the bottom. Jericho with them, so is Evan Hunter, and the field still stacked up as a big run for Collins gains big on Evans off turn 2, closes into the back bumper within about a car length of the 31, and looking for the lead in turns 3 and 4. Here comes Mitchell Collins for the lead for the first time here today on lap number 8, side by side with the 31 car, door handle to door handle off turn number 4, and I think he's going to get the momentum and get the lap led here on lap number 8.
He does lead the lap here. Now the real question is, what is Evans going to do on that top side? He's going to try to force his way down to the bottom, or is he going to hold it right here? We'll have to see if he hits the brake, because he's in the. He does. Look, Joe, he is in that light gray situation yet again, and that's just another driver who does not feel comfortable up there.
Did you see the run that the 15 and the 2 got because the front 2 were side by side in front? The momentum in the draft they got was absolutely insane. They closed right up, and I think they had to kind of hit the brakes themselves to not run over the 31 and the 12. But now Mitchell Collins leads here for Penske Jasper, and here come 2 more of his teammates, Zidell and Martinelli. Thought they were going to help each other, but Jude Martinelli goes 3 wide. How about this? They could be 1, 2, 3 here on lap number 10, as they're trying to get by Ryan Wilson into turns 1 and 2. Zidell in the middle, Martinelli down low. Wilson has to back out of it. Here comes Wilson's teammate Anthony Hernandez, and at the front of the field, Trey, Penske Jasper Racing. 1, 2, 3. Collins, Martinelli, and Zidell off turn 2.
They might have themselves a new office photo right here, right? But we'll have to see. It's one thing racing the teammate in the pack. You might give each other a little bit of room, but it's another thing racing for the lead, because everyone wants to lead that lap, right? And right now they're playing pretty easy with each other, as we're looking 4 wide, or not 4 wide, 3 wide off of the corner here with 2 JGR cars and 1 RCR.
Yeah, how about Sebastian Kukla, another driver that didn't start all that well here today, but moving up through the field as the race goes on. That 29, very, very strong. Sebastian Kukla up inside the top 10 now to 9th place by the 18 of Chris Jericho. Back up to the front, Hunter gets to 3rd, Martinelli to 2nd. Another driver that didn't start all that well, but he's chasing down his teammate Mitchell Collins at the front of the field here in lap number 11. As they go into turns 3 and 4, the draft's still working as most of the field, most of the front pack is kind of in this draft together. Martinelli a little tight off turn 4, had to lift. Here comes Evan Hunter with a nice run down to the inside looking for 2nd place. It might not be enough because here comes Justin Zeidel looking out for 3rd. And it could, oh, look out! That was close. Wow.
I don't know what just happened there.
I think the 36 thought he was clear the 2. At the last second wasn't, but he was still beneath the 77. Luckily, they all made it out of it alive. Hunter keeps 3rd. Zeidel's going to be the one to lose spots. Whoa! Wilson Hernandez, 2 teammates came close together right there in 3 and 4.
You guys are getting really dicey here in the middle of the run for whatever reason that may be. I don't know why. Their cars are starting to handle really good, but Joe, we can see that run you're talking about again. These two, even though they're side by side, they gained up quite a bit of gap on that 12.
Yes, they did. It's just that draft is so supreme here at the Michigan International Speedways. Evan Hunter moves to 2nd by Jude Martinelli. Rainey, the points limit, looks for 3rd, but gets a little tight down low. Martinelli has the draft up the back straightaway, will keep 3rd spot. Further back, Ahmed Wald still hanging tough inside the top 10. 2 Joe Gibbs drivers are battling side by side for 10th and 11th. And there's Eli Bright in car number 8 from 40th place on the grid, just outside the top 10 now. So he is in it to maybe win this race and trying to avenge that loss he had last season in this Michigan race, finishing 2nd by just a little bit to Brett Sierra at the checker flag. A little bit further back, Hunter Reed moving up through the field nicely in the 45. Jay Brando still hanging tough inside the top 15 in that 97. Strickland's just hanging out. Tim Gary's coming back in that number 10 car, fell all the way to the back of the field to start, but he's moving right back through the field, started 2nd place, back up inside the top 20. Your driver, Henry Guotre, having a solid day inside the top 20. One of the faster cars in practice. Nathan Baird having a solid day. Ruiz moving up. There's the audience picked Riley Sprotube. Kind of just mediocre right now. There's the pole sitter, Richardson. Once again, as mentioned, his best finish here is 30th place. Right now he's improving on it, but not by much. Currently stuck back in 27th for that 99 car.
Yeah, I don't know what they did. I don't know. Maybe they forgot to take that out of the quali setup, right? But they are not having the day they were hoping to have right here. It looks like they're slowly starting to make their way back forward, but the damage is already done, Joe. Right now, they're just kind of in, salvage mode.
Not a good day for Roush Racing. The 16 is back here with the 99. The 6 is back here. The 17 is back here. Jay Randall's the only one right now having a solid day, but he's not even inside the top 10. Is at the front. Evan Hunter to the lead by Mitchell Collins. He takes it away. Collins will fall in line in 2nd place. Zeidel in 3rd. Wilson in 4th. And the points are Luke Rainey in 5th. First battle for position is for 7th and 8th. Ahmed Walid and Matt as well. Martinelli dropping back. And Eli Bright up inside the top 10. It took him just 15 laps, Trey, to go from 40th place to now 9th place. That 8 car, he has a realistic shot to win this race here today.
Yeah, this is another race where he just seems like to have that long run speed, and it could work out in his favor here as long as he can, continue to make spots up here, get a good, might do that undercut you were mentioning, right? With the speed differences on the used tires, it might work out in his favor, especially if he has this amount of speed here on the long run. So we'll have to see what they're planning here, but only time's going to tell. But right now, he's just got to focus on getting more spots.
He's looking to the outside of Mathis Wells into turns 1 and 2. Not too much grip up there at the moment. Couldn't make the pass work, but it won't really hurt him any. He'll just slot in line between the 2 Joe Gibbs guys. But Trey, how about the run of races Eli Bright has been on? It had been a kind of slow start to the season, and he had been kind of down there in points, and obviously still ahead of his teammates who are down there struggling to break inside the top 30 in points. But Eli had not been all that great compared to the last few seasons. But these last 3 races, Trey, 3 straight top 5 finishes. That's the first time he's done that in his career. So this 8 team has found something as of late. They found something in the race here at Michigan. He's moved up to 11th in points, and if he continues on the streak that he's on, he has a realistic shot to try and get there and into that championship fight if the front guys in points keep having issues like they've had as of late.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we've learned that you can never count anything out as we're looking 3 wide here for, I believe this is going to be 2nd place, 2 two teammates, and Luke's going to absolutely send it on the bottom.
He made that work. Look at that slide up in front of the 2 and the 12. Now Zidell, he lifted to do the crossover back down to the bottom of the racetrack for second place. He said, not so fast, points leader, and he goes back to the inside. Zidell got his first ever win here at the Michigan International Speedway in 2000 Frederick Motorsports. Could he maybe get his first ever Penske Jasper win here today at Michigan, his home racetrack? He's raced up inside the top 10 all day long. Second place, still looking to lead his first laps of the day, but he's been hanging tough, Trey. If that car can stay good for the second half of this race, Zidell's a shot to break that winless drought at his home track.
Look at this, though, right? Luke goes from second place on the exit of 4 to, what is that, 7th place now, going back into 4 just one lap later. I mean, that just shows you how big momentum is here, right? Because he lost all that, sending it down there and having to gather it back up on the exit, and now he's what now, just inside the top 10?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's 10th now, but still on the outside. So, I mean, here comes Conrad Evans, who led a lot of laps early on down to the inside. So he'll take 10th away. He gets a little tight down low, and this pack kind of comes together off the corner. You can see right there, great camera shots as they work their way up the back straightaway. It's a 2 by 2 by 2 all the way up the back straightaways. It's a 6-car pack into turns 3 and 4. Everyone sends on the bottom. Evans and Eli Bright get a little close. The third one slides up, takes the line away from the number 8 car. Those two have had contact in the past. Luckily today, they've kept it clean so far. And here comes another driver moving their way back to the front. Here comes Tim Gary. Started outside pole. He's working his way up. He's now top 15, and the top 10 is just in his sights. The 48 car up the road.
Yeah, this is what Tim Gary wanted to see, was that 88 fall back, and Tim Gary to move his way up front. And again, to mention my driver, Henry Guo, he's just kind of following that 10 car there, making his way through everything. That seems to be working out in his favor right now, holding up inside, I believe, this is around 15th or so?
Yep, currently 16th, but there's 15th in front of him. June Martinelli.
Oh,
Tim!
This is going to be close on exit. They might have made contact.
Oh, they're still
they
not
made
done.
Contact.
Tim Gary being aggressive. One of the Michigan drivers in the field, trying to move his way back up through the field after falling back at the start. He just got to 12th there with that one move. What a move for Tim Gary, and that's still not done. Here comes the pole sitter back to the front. Keyshawn Richardson ripping the bottom lane and saving his tires, and he's moving back up inside the top 20 as we approach pit stops.
I don't know where the comfortable spot to sit here, Joe, because that is a whole group of cars right there racing their way right now. As Richardson's going to get the bottom going in. Guo's going to fall right back in line here, try to hold the bottom, but he's going to miss it. So now we got Tim Gary right behind Luke Rainey, right? That's for the points right there. So Tim's really going to try to push his way up there. But Joe, we got pit stops coming soon, don't we?
Yes, we do. We're within about a lap or two from pit stop starting. And you mentioned you don't know where the most comfortable part here on the track is. I think it's where we are up in the booth, because we don't have to worry about it. We get to watch what's happening, and there's all sorts of chaos happening. They're still battling up here. Collins gets by Wilson for third. Zidell, the closest he's been to Evan Hunter over the last few laps, closing in about a car length or two back at that 36 as the race up the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Will any of the race leaders make a move to pit road? So far, it looks like that's not going to happen. The 36, the 2, the 12, front 4 staying out. So far, no one making the move. This is really the time where someone could try the undercut, try and come down really early, get tires on, move their way through the field. Here comes Crown Jr., the big move down on Jerry Chen, Jacob Miller, Nathan Baird, 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. But Trey, I don't think anyone made the move to pit road on that lap.
Yeah, it seems like I figured someone would have tried to undercut it. Oh, nope, Keegan, he did.
Yep, so Keegan Thompson tries the undercut. Let's see how that works for the number 5 car, who was kind of mired mid-pack at this stage in the race. Now, the leaders look like they're coming in this lap to try and cut off any advantage of the 5, but some drivers are going to try the overcut. Ryan Wilson, Ahmed Walid, Mathis Wells stay out. So did Lathan Strickland. So now we have mixed strategy on pit road. Some staying out, some coming in on lap number 24, now to lap 25. Wilson leads for the first time today, but the race leader is in. Evan Hunter looking for a second victory of the season. Leads a good bit of the field in, but there's still about half the field out there still on the racetrack.
Yeah, so I'll be curious to see how this works out, as these guys, we'll call it the even cut, and some of them went on the overcut, right? So how is it going to work out in everyone's favor here, that you might have that little bit of speed near the end of the race, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Now, does anyone try and extend it even further, or does everyone else come in at this time? It's obviously going to be 4 tires for all these guys. Here comes a large train of cars into pit road. A few stay out. Zidell going to be side by side with Evan Hunter off pit road. The 36 guesses it just enough. The 36 will leave in front. Zidell, though, very close. A few more stayed out, like Eli Bright has stayed out. There he is. Going going to put a lap on the 36. Maybe hoping a caution comes out and can trap some guys a lap down. So has Nathan Baird and last race winner Justin Atkins. They've all stayed on the racetrack. So is David Dixon. So the field is cycling through 1 and 2. That was the first batch of cars in. There's Keegan Thompson. He's going to come out probably inside the top 10. Evan Hunter slow off pit road. Zeidel's past him, and the caution's out.
Oh, no. What happened?
The caution flag is out. What a break for drivers that pitted later. Now, what has happened, we don't know. We have not seen anything, but Hunter was slow off pit road. Zeidel's going to beat them back, but they're all trapped behind the 8 car, the 22 car, and the 3 car.
This is going to be fun to debacle everything, isn't it? So, what?
So now these guys that haven't taken the caution that are leaving pit road, they have to race back around here, and they can probably stand the lead lap. Oh, watch out here. I don't know. Some of these guys might have taken the caution still, but some are racing back, and see, there's a big mess. Now, these drivers that didn't pit, they're going to come in, and they're going to do their service. The problem for the 88 and some of these guys that got trapped is that they're going to be now tail end of the lead lap, and they're going to have to hope for another caution here. But here comes the 8, 22, 3, and obviously the 39. They'd all stayed out. They're coming in now. As you can see, Luke Rainey, the 88. There's David Dixon. Now, some of these guys were able to get back around. They're probably going to be back on the lead lap that were able to race back around. We'll have to wait for scoring to figure its way out. Right now, it's a huge mess of wondering where everyone is going to be. But there's Matt as well. So he obviously is now going to be tail end of the lead lap. And I have to think that the only cars that are going to be on, it's going to be only the top 8 right now technically on the lead lap. And it looks like it might be Ahmed Walid if he can beat those guys off pit road, which looks like he's going to do. I think Ahmed Walid is going to inherit the lead in the 91 car.
I don't know. I'm confused. That's why I let NASCAR figure all this out.
Yeah, we'll have to let it sort on through. But these 4 go by, and then you have these 4, and then the 39 David Dixon as well. So some chaos with a caution in the middle of green flag pit cycles here at Michigan. And it looks like we're only going to have about 8 cars on the main lead lap. Go check out what happened. Caution flag is out here at Michigan. Here's the reason for the caution. Leaving pit road, side by side for Hernandez and Rando, and there was just not enough room. And I think Rando really had to give the spot up there and just didn't want to. And just got Hernandez and spun him out.
So that's 2 guys Rando's kind of spun out this season.
Yeah.
If we go back to, where was that?
Yeah, that was wherever it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do know, and I know Hernandez. You don't want to get that driver mad, and he's going to probably be pretty mad under the helmet of that race car. We'll have to see if there's any retaliation that comes with that number 1, because we've seen that in the past. But all sorts of chaos with pit road. We do believe Ahmed Walid is now the race leader at the GFS Marketplace 400, while a bunch of the field is looking for a quick caution to get themselves back into the fight for the race victory. Back here at Michigan in a whole big mess in terms of the running order. We have most of the field on the tail end of the lead lap. No one is officially 1 lap down. You obviously have the 1 car, he's in last place after that spin. But when this caution came out, Trey, very bad for some drivers that were kind of running decently. Like, you know, obviously you have all these Roush cars down at the bottom now. Like, you have the 6, 17, 99, 99, 97. They're 35th through 38th, but Richardson's moving back up inside the top 20. Rando was inside the top 20. Then you have obviously Belladonna and Jordan Stout down there. You have both the petty cars that kind of fell on that. Matthew Burnett's now 30th. Kirchner's 29th. You have Keegan Thompson, who played that undercut, but it doesn't really work for him now. He's down in 24th place. You have Jude Martinelli down, stuck in 22nd. Jericho stuck in 20th. Evans 21st. You have Zach DeLello, who's moved up to 17th with that. You have Riley Bridge and Evan Hunter both around the top 15. But there's only 8 cars at the moment that are going to be in contention for the win with 10 to go. And they're the 8 at the back of the line. Ahmed Walid, looking for his first ever win, is in the lead. Ryan Wilson's never won. He's in 2nd. Kukla has not won since 2002. He sits 3rd. 4th place, Tim Gary hasn't won since 2001. Eli Bright hasn't won since New Hampshire last season. He's in 5th. Nathan Baird's never won in 6th. Atkins just won last race in 7th. And David Dixon, the rookie, has never won. He's in 8th. Then you have Wells, the leader of the line, with Lathan Strickland, Luke Rainey, and some of the others looking for 8th or 9th on back. There's the green flag. The battle for the win is all the way at the back of the line, but they're still not safe because there's the possibility something could happen in front like a crash and take all these 8 out. So we'll have to see how it all works out and who can move through the traffic the best, I guess.
It's weird that we're watching the race for the lead back at the pack.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes no sense, but here we go. Walid, Kukulon, Gary. They're all moving by Ryan Wilson. Kukulon looking out 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. He makes the move down to the bottom lane. Sebastian Kukulon up to the lead now for RCR, looking to get their 2nd straight win for that team. Tim Gary up now to 2nd place, looking to win at home for the first ever time. It'll be just his 2nd career victory. 9 laps to go at Michigan. Kukulon gets a car between he and Tim Gary. And how about Nathan Baird moving up, flying up to 3rd by Ahmed Walid, who slows on the top. Wilson need light drive, nowhere to go. Atkins down the inside, Wilson through the middle. Walid dropping back from 1st place.
Yeah, his car is not liking this restart right now. It is absolutely struggling, but the one that is not is this 29, and he has a car in between him and Tim Gary, who is now 2nd place, and he's going to try to get more as a 23 slid up the track. He's going to try to fill in the gap, which he does.
Matt took a top 5 finish here last season, not been all that great this season. He has just in front of him Pri McShane. He's battling with her to try and get inside the top 35 in owners points. Kukulon, Gary, they've gotten away by a 2nd over Nathan Baird and the rest of the field, but Gary is close right up. Now no cars between the 29 and the 10. It's just bumper to bumper traffic off turn 2. Kukulon versus Gary, 8 laps to go, 7 at the line. Kukulon's cleared traffic, but Gary's coming right with them, and he clears traffic now. It's mano a mano, but still more traffic ahead for the race leaders.
I think the one who wants this the most is Tim Gary, not only because he hasn't won in forever, but Joe, it's going to pretty much grant him the points lead, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Luke Rennie stuck back there in 10th place, but also trades his home track. So he has a lot going for him. A long winless drought, the points lead, and his home racetrack. He comes in 2nd at points, 7 points back. He's not won since 2001 at Texas World. That's his only career victory up to this point. Can he try and break the winless drought here today? Both these drivers on long winless droughts of over a year. We'll have to see which of them can come out on top, or can someone like Wilson try and find their way up through the traffic and get to these two. Right now, Kukulon has a car between he and Tim Gary. It's the 42 of Nathan Stapleton. And you can see right here on this restart, Chris Jericho, one of the guys that's really dropping, the number 18 driver up there in the points. But right now, Jericho shuffled out of the top 30 down to 34th and could fall a lap down. There's a lot of big names in front of the race leaders with 6 laps to go. So they're not going to be all that easy to lap if the 29 has to lap them.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how these leaders decide they want to play with it. If I'm the 29, I still want to put as many cars as I can between me and Tim Gary right now, but at the same time, you don't want to push too much and, cause a risk of you being in an incident, right? So it's a very fine line of playing smart to playing risky, but it's what you got to do to win these things.
And it's a hard area to be in if you're a lap car, because, normally when the leaders are lapping cars, those lap cars aren't really battling anyone. It's a very spread out field. Here you're on a restart, so you can still gain spots by, just following the leaders up there, trying to stay in front of the leaders. So it's a big mess to be in if you're someone like Nathan Stapleton, who's like, if I can pass the 29, there's more spots in front for me, but you're also holding up Tim Gary in the process. But right here, Kukulon had to be aggressive to get down in front of the 42. Nathan Stapleton did just that. So now he still has a car between he and Tim Gary, coming back around to 4 to go, and he's really pulled away now. Stapleton was slow off turn 4. He's got a few cars between he and the 10 car now with just 4 laps to go.
And Tim Gary is absolutely fuming right now that the 42 is not letting him by. Tim Gary's going to finally dive it to the inside here. He should be able to get there, but the only problem is now that there's 4 cars he's got to pass to get that 29.
Oh, look at that, though. John Barrymore fights back, top of turn 2. Kukulon was slow, and he could not complete that pass. Now Tim Gary has to push Chris Jericho by these guys to have a shot at Sebastian Kukulon. Something else that could happen is if one of these lap cars are fast enough to go up and pass the 29, put him on the outside, then Tim Gary also has a shot. But there's still cars between the 29 and the 10. 3 laps to go. Sebastian Kukulon trying to get RCR their 2nd straight victory here in 2004. We have Crown Jr. and Jericho and Benny Lynn. 3 lap cars between the 29 and the 10. Kukulon, if nothing happens, Trey, I think he kind of has enough of a gap right now to just hang in it and just walk this thing home to victory lane.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now he's just got to, kind of be careful around everyone else here. Don't make any risky plays, and he can pretty much bring it home right now, but that's easier said than done.
Yes, it is, as now we just have 2 laps to go. The field kind of stringing out, and Kukulan doesn't have to battle anyone at the moment. He's just getting some draft, and now he's going to actually look to the inside barrier bar again into turn 1. We'll see if he can complete the pass this time, unlike last time where he got a little tight and couldn't make it work. Into turns 1 and 2 again. Gets tight down low, has to lift. Now Crown Jr. gets a big enough run. Does he put Kukulan to the top? There he goes. He's looking low. So now if the 29 gets stuck up top, this is bad news for Sebastian Kukulan. The 43 and the 18 are to the inside. Here comes Tim Gary. He's on the inside as well. As they work through 3 and 4, Kukulan tries to fight on the top side, and now it's going to come down to the wire. Here's the white flag. Kukulan getting some draft. Tim Gary can't go anywhere because Hernandez goes to the inside himself. Last lap at Michigan, Kukulan in front, Crown Jr. to his inside into turns 1 and 2, but the 29 fights on the top, and he might just have enough through 1 and 2.
He's got to get clear here if he wants to solidify, which he does, Joe. This is going to be a walk in the park for him now no one has a run on him. He's pulling away, Joe. This is his.
This is Sebastian Kukulan's race to lose as they enter into turns 3 and 4. Gary stuck back in traffic, nowhere to go but backwards. Into turns 3 and 4 and off of 4. It's been since 2002 for Sebastian Kukulan, but it's finally over. RCR with back-to-back victories. Sebastian Kukulan wins the GFS Marketplace 400 here at Michigan. The field comes across. See, Ryan Wilson ends up in third with Gary in second, and Ware is fourth on back there, still looking to cross the line. Atkins, Baird, Eli Bright, fourth, fifth, sixth. Wallet and Dixon get top 8s. Here's the battle for 9th and 10th. Wells has 9th. Evans in 10th. Spurley to 11th. Strickland and Luke Rainey battle in 12th and 13th. Strickland's looking like he's going to try and keep it on the top. Battle for the top 15 even further back as these guys come around to the start-finish line. 9th for Wells, 10th for Evans, so that completes the top 10. But at the front of the field, it was Sebastian Kukulan all the way to the back of the field that ends up with the win in that number 29 car. RCR Trey back-to-back with Atkins, his victory at Road America. Here today, Kukulan, the lucky kind of pit strategy, gets him the victory here in Michigan.
Yeah, the caution definitely played out into his favor there, and it's really just pretty much luck of the draw at that point. Tim Gary had a good day. Second place is most likely going to gain the points lead if I were going to guess correctly there, and it just, it's going to hurt him a little bit. It's going to be a love-hate thing here because you get the points lead, but at the same time, you couldn't get the win at your home track.
Tim Gary is the points leader. It was only a 7-point gap entering, and he finished about 10 spots in front of Luke Rainey here today. So Tim Gary is going to be the points leader heading into the final 15 races of the 2004 season. How about that for MB2, leading the points this deep into the season and having drivers that have been really, really good and consistent so far this season. But for Sebastian Kukulan, this is a really big win for him. It could move him up nicely in points. He had a very solid stretch of races with top 5s and back-to-back races at those short tracks North Wilkesboro, Myrtle Beach. But after that, he was very inconsistent and got 3 finishes those next 3 races of 40th, 31st, 21st. Well, here today, he breaks through finally the victory lane in that number 29 car. Kukulan with the victory in the GFS Marketplace 400. Tim Gary has to sell for second place, just about 7/10 of a second back. Ryan Wilson ends up in third. You have Justin Atkins with another solid day. That win at Road America and then another top 5 here at Michigan. And Nathan Baird with a very solid day, top 5 for him. Eli Bright looked for 4 straight top 5 finishes on the season, but he'll take another very solid 6th place finish. Ahmed Wallet leading on the final restart, but falls back to finish in 7th. How about David Dixon, 8th place? So that that pit issue that kind of happened there with the caution in the middle of green flag pit stops really helped some of the underfunded cars get some good finishes here today. Then you have Mathis Wells, the first of those drivers that got caught on the tail end of the lead lap. Wells ends up 9th, Evans in 10th, Riley Spurley, Lathan Strickland. There's the old points there. Luke Rainey, he'll fall back with a 13th place finish here today. Evan Hunter up there in points, very solid 16th here today. You have Keegan Thompson kind of battles up to get 19th right there at the end. Subit Oskin came from the back of the field after failing inspection, gets 21st. Zidell really strong early on, but kind of back there, with unlucky caution, and then in some dirty air, 23rd for that number 2 car. Jay Brando struggled. He ends up 28th here today. Obviously, Chris Jericho struggled, one of them up there in points. He's now finishes 35th and drops in points, and multiple cars end up 1 lap down. And the 2 drivers that were fighting for the 35th place in owners' points, they finished right together at the back of the field. Tuck 31st, Free McShane in 42nd here today at Michigan. As we go take a look now at the points, 17 races in, 15 races to go, and Tim Gary, the new man on top, with Luke Rainey's mediocre day here at Michigan, and Gary, getting the luck of the draw, being able to stay on the lead lap when all that caution came out. Luke got caught on the tail end of the lead lap, and that was really the difference at that. Before that, it really looked like it was going to be close between those two, but after that, Tim Gary really had a stranglehold on Luke Rainey's points and got himself into the points with a second place finish here today.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you how one small incident can really shake up the entire field for the race, right? And it goes from, like you mentioned, a close battle to, what was it, 7, 8 spots, however many it was, right? So it's just really, again, it's just a luck of a draw type of thing. Got to be the right place at the right time, and Tim Gary was.
And you mentioned right place at the right time. In 2 weeks' time, next week is an off week for the Nextel Cup Series, but in 2 weeks' time, join us for a Saturday night race under the lights at a track where you have to be at the right place at the right time every single lap. We're racing at the Daytona International Speedway for the Firecracker 400 under the lights, July 4th weekend. That's a fan favorite as well. The drivers, maybe not so much, it can get a little chaotic down there at times, but Trey, this points lead, Tim Gary just got it, but now he has to go survive Daytona of all places.
Yeah, that's it's not what you like to see next up on the schedule, but like you mentioned, he's got a whole couple weeks to think about it here, right?
Yep.
So it's going to be a game plan thing, and we'll have to see what he can do going into Daytona.
Yeah, we will have to see how it all plays out in 2 weeks' time at JRTV from Daytona. But today it's RCR's day for the second straight week. Cam Wright's going to be a happy man with Atkins winning last week at Road America, and this week it's Sebastian Kukulon back to victory lane for the first time since 2002. His victory here today at Michigan. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long, but tune in 2 weeks' time to JRTV Saturday night under the lights at Daytona.